Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. This is Mable, your princess of poetry and praise.
And I am Brother Paul.
And we welcome you to Conversations with Mable. Conversations with Mable, here for you, and you. And Brother Paul and I are going to be continuing our conversation that we've been discussing, change. Tell us, what is change to you, Brother Paul?
Oh, change is when something's done one way and you do it another way, or something has occurred one way, but then it occurs another way. In other words, something that's different than it has been.
Okay.
That's change.
And when we make change, we hope that it's for the best and it's better, best.
We would hope.
We would hope so.
But sometimes change comes along and it's not necessarily for the better. It all depends on who's in charge.
Okay. But one of the quotes that I just love that I found, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. I like that. So, Brother Paul, when we talk about change, some of the things that really come to mind are like birth, when a new baby comes.
That's a big change.
That's a big change. A death in the family.
That's a change.
Okay. Marriage.
That's a change.
Okay.
That's a real change.
That's a real change. Okay. All right. Divorce.
That's a change.
Emptiness.
That's a change.
Now, when that happened with us, how did our household change when our two young men left?
It was well, as a parent, you have reservations on one side. On the other side, you're jumping for joy. And so after a while, the jumping for joy overwhelms the other side. So you all of a sudden you become complacent and enjoy it. I mean, they're grown now. They're out on their own. That's what we raised them to do. And so when it happened, of course, we didn't want it to happen the way it happened, but change comes about. So change has happened.
Yes, and the good thing is that you start seeing how many things you've implanted in them as they were growing up that they finally realized. Remember when you go to their houses now, how people turn off lights and
Yep. You know, when they were living here, you thought we were having a light show. Every light in every room was on. They walk in the room, turn the light on, walk out the room, leave the light on all day long. You know, lights where no light really was needed.
TVs.
Everything on.
I know it. Everybody's playing games and stuff.
And now you go by their house, like you said.
They understand because now they pay bills. And then the sandwich generation, and so many, we've gone through that, where your parents or grandparents may be sick, and then you have children or young people that you're still taking care of. And that's a real challenge, trying to balance your time and your resources and how you're going to make major decisions. That can be a real change. Also, when you look at a new job, how can that bring a change in your life?
Well, you know, when you're if it's a new job and you're used to doing things on your old job the way you've done them for so long, and you got to go to a new job, you can't just pop off in there and do what you were doing before because it probably won't work. So therefore, you have to change to fit the situation that you're in. Change comes about with doing things different.
And also when there are mergers, and I have been through several mergers, and I've worked at stations that have changed ownership, and you're talking about real change, because in many cases that meant all of us in management, bing, you're gone. And when the schools merged at one time, when I worked in Greensboro City Schools, and when the schools merged, all of us in management had to give up our positions because there were three of us. There was one in Greensboro City, High Point City, Guilford County. And with the merged system, they only needed one director in those positions. So that was a major change we went through.
Yeah. And right now in the news, changes coming to some folks at a couple of companies that are shutting down. And I'm not talking about 5 or 6 people. I'm talking about hundreds. People whose lives are being turned upside down. 600 jobs in one location, and I think I heard maybe 30,000. That's just unbelievable.
When you total them all up together, that's a lot of jobs across the state and everything. So what about retirement?
That's a change.
What's the good part?
The good part, well, the good part, I know everybody thinks the good part is you don't have to go to work no more, all of that. But for some folks who will go nameless,
I think he's trying to indirectly mention somebody.
who would not name, but when they worked all their life, uh, it's a major change
It is.
when you don't have that responsibility to have to get up to go, and so now you got to figure out what am I going to do with this free time. A lot of folks say they want to do this and do that, but when the reality sits in, you can only do so much of this and that. Really, you really can.
I know it, but it was a major change, and I'm still going through changes because I've been working since I was 3 years old. My grandmother took me to work every day. I mean, we walked down on Beale Street to my uncle's office, and I worked, and they gave me responsibilities, and I've always been able to get up every morning and take a shower and comb my hair and put on some pretty clothes and go out the door. And just not having to do that every day is very challenging.
But I think you get used to it though. I think you maybe get used to it.
Yes, as long as I'm staying busy and with my husband and with our church and volunteer activities, we have been able to fill in some gaps, and we're substitute teaching, and that's been so much fun. It's been very rewarding.
Very much so, and very eye-opening.
Eye-opening, yes.
I tell you, if you are a parent, especially, but if you're a grown person and you want to know what's going on in your schools, volunteer. Just go there one day and ask them, can you volunteer and do something? And just walk around the school and just see what the young people are doing. You will be amazed.
And they need you. They need you and me. They need us all. They really do. Some great quotes that I found, Brother Paul, that I want to share. One by Maya Angelou. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Now, what does that mean about changing your attitude? I remember when
Who said that?
Maya Angelou. Yeah. And you know what, Brother Paul, I remember hearing you talk to people when there have been changes in their life, and you explain to them, look, this has happened. You have a new boss. Some things have been altered, and you have to do what? Change your what?
Adjust to your attitude.
Your attitude. And how do you do that?
A lot of prayer, for sure.
Lord, help me to hold out.
And get yourself adjusted. Because change is inevitable. If you live on this earth long enough, you will be faced with change.
You're right.
Some will be positive, some will not be so positive, but still change is inevitable.
And it has to do with your attitude, your mindset, and you understanding, I'm going to make it through this. In fact, you just went through a major change, and it has affected me and those who we socialize with as far as going out to eat. Now we're trying to eat a more nutritional type meal.
Yep.
More plant-based.
The experience that I had at the end of May was life-altering and life-changing.
It was.
And it took me a while, honestly, mentally, to accept what had happened.
What the doctors had said.
Because I couldn't believe it. And for the longest period of time, I kept thinking, there's no way I had a heart attack. I just can't believe it. I don't believe it. And the reason why I guess they didn't believe it because I did not have any of the telltale signs of chest pain, the pain running down your arm, all of that. I didn't have any of that. But mine was different. And when I got to the hospital, they did what they did. I only had like 60% oxygen in my body, which the doctor would tell you that's that's dead. I mean, that's not being alive. So that was a miracle. That was a miracle. But on top of that, there was a change, and I'm still in the middle of change because I have to change my diet. Whereas if I want to jump in and run and get a burger,
And I love those burgers with everything on it. I haven't had a burger, Brother Paul. We haven't had a burger since May 14th
right,
when that happened. Oh my goodness.
right. I haven't had a burger.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. And people think, and my thing is, I accept the change differently. I don't like trying to do piecemeal. The diagnosis is this, you should do this, and so therefore I'm doing that. You don't have to tell me more than once. They tell me I need to have a plant-based diet, mainly dealing with maybe a little fish, some chicken, but red meat completely eliminated. That's me. And
that's the way we're going to be. That means we're going to scratch out. Well, Brother Paul didn't like chitlins and hog maws and pig feet and pigtails and all that kind of stuff like me, and barbecue and sauce. And he didn't like that like me, but he did like his steaks. So,
but they were lean steaks.
I don't care, but still,
they were lean.
I remember what you and your buddy did on that last cruise. I mean, y'all ordered so many steaks. I said, my Lord, Jesus, come and help us.
That was a year ago.
I know it, but still, that's off the plate now. Our plant-based diet means that we're eating more vegetables and fruits, and we're trying to make sure that we get our right amount of sleep, and we're drinking water, and we're drinking, if we have to drink any sodas, we're drinking like ginger ale or something that's light colored. Also, we're trying to avoid sweets and sugars and lots of carbohydrates. And so that means that those good fruits like cherries and watermelons and oranges and apples, wow. And now Brother Paul can really enjoy what I love, the sugar snap peas. I love them raw, where you just eat them raw, and bell peppers raw, and carrots. And I think I'm getting into it, Brother Paul. I'm getting into it.
I know you are. I know you are.
Yeah, but I'm going to be your support system.
It's going to take a minute before I can eat a bell pepper raw.
But you like it chopped up in a salad.
Chopped up and sauteed.
Where I can just eat it like an apple. Yeah. And then also understanding the importance of mindfulness. What have we learned in your classes? The whole attitude of, this is what I'm going to do because this is going to help my temple and help what God has given me, this body that God gave me as a gift. I need to take good care of it, right?
Right. And I'm learning so much in these classes. So things that I thought I knew have been debunked.
Yeah.
And so therefore I'm learning a whole new way of living, a whole new lifestyle. And at first I was not adverse to exercise. I did not do it.
And I'm so glad he's bringing this up. I didn't want to be the one to bring this up. Talk, brother. Talk,
but
brother.
I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. But in this classes or in this rehab, or what they call cardiac rehab, exercise is a part of the rehab process. And I'm finding that I'm kind of enjoying it. So I look forward to going each week, 3 times a week for the.
Wait, look at that. I'm so proud of you. I don't want my lipstick on you. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm kind of looking forward to it. So
this is major, y'all. Y'all are seeing major goals being met. Major. Because when I'm running around with the grandkids and their parents, Brother Paul is sitting in his big red chair, just chilling. And the kids will say, Pops, Well, Pops, we'll say he's rested. And one of the babies will say again. But now, because of his new exercise mode, and we're so thankful to see that. God bless him.
Well, when you walk up to the door, and somebody standing on the other side about to welcome you in, trust me, it will bring about a change. And that song said, the change has come over me. It changed my life. Now, oh yeah, a change. And they say you have never lived until you almost not live. Trust me, it's an eye opener, an eye opening experience.
It is. It was. And that's why we're going to stick together and we're going to make it. And the Lord is going to give us the strength because we know we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. And then another thing I found by James Baldwin, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And so that means what? We got to face this new plant-based diet. We have to face the fact that we're going to be eating more like Bugs Bunny and and the little rabbits and stuff. But we're going to make it. We're going to make it. We have so many friends across the country who are much younger than us who have chosen these particular special diets of eating plant-based, and they are doing just fantabulous. They have been able to help to eradicate some real chronic illnesses that they had simply by changing their diet. That's all they had to do.
And by going to those classes, it helps me to realize just how blessed I am to be at my age, which I will not tell you, but to see people in the class that I'm in that are younger than I am, and I'm thinking, and they're having this situation at this age, at a much younger age. At least when it came upon me, it came upon me at a later age. So in that regard, I look at it as an optimistic kind of thing. It's a blessing. Everything happens for a reason. All things work together for good for those who love the Lord.
Love the Lord, yes.
So everything's working for the good.
And the author C.S. Lewis wrote, "Getting over a painful experience is much like crossing monkey bars. You have to let go at some point in order to move forward." And I remember seeing Paul Wayne and Joshua helping their youngsters try to cross those monkey bars. And they can put the little tots up there on the monkey bars, but they have to have faith to know that they have to reach that next bar by themselves and go across. And the older children are able to do that, but I can see the younger ones, their faith is gaining, but it takes time to learn. I mean, it's easy now for them to swing in the swing and to go up and down the sliding board, but that monkey bar, it's hard. It would be hard for me to do.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I didn't do monkey bars. I'm gonna tell you, I was probably one of the least athletic person going on.
Oh my goodness!
Even on the playground, no monkey bars for me.
Oh my goodness!
I don't remember doing monkey bars. I may have done a seesaw. Yeah.
Come on, baby, come on.
Yeah.
But as we talk about change, also it made me think about one of my favorite cartoons, The Jetsons. Mm-hmm. Meet George Jetson. Da, 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 da. Y'all remember that? George Jetson and Elroy, his little boy, and Judy, his daughter, and Jane, his wife, Rosie, the robot maid, which we all could really take advantage of, Astro, the talking dog, and they lived in a utopian future society. They lived high in the sky, way, 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 way up there. And they, instead of cars on the ground, they were flying around like in flying saucers. And it was just a great cartoon that I enjoyed as a little kid growing up. Did you enjoy that one too?
Yeah, I watched that one. And some of that stuff that we see on those cartoons that was way back then, some of those things are coming to fruition now, like the watches that people can talk to,
Yes.
talk on. visualization.
And I told my grandmother, I told her back in the day when I read the cartoons, the Dick Tracy cartoons in the newspaper every day, and how he would talk on his watch. And I said, dear, one day we're going to be able to talk on our watches. And dear said, you're crazy. You just crazy, girl. Where you get all of these crazy ideas? That's your creativity kicking in. She just didn't believe it. But dear is in heaven right now, probably saying Mabel was right.
Right. And she may have a watch on.
I know it. Knowing dear, she she probably does. She probably does. But when you think about the Jetsons and compare them to the Flintstones, yabba dabba doo, and we're living in that age now. And that's why with this particular show on every week, where we talk about change and where we talk about things that we're going through to make it easier for you to understand and make it relevant so you will listen. We also hope that this will help you to tell your children and grandchildren and your neighbors and folks at your churches and synagogues or temple to let the young people and those who are looking for new jobs understand we are going through some major changes now, and we got to wake up. Isn't that right, Brother Paul?
And be prepared for change.
And be prepared for change, because these robots are here and they are here to stay. And like the Jetsons had Rosie the robot, who knows when there might be some robots that you'll be able to just, get your credit card and tap into your little cell phone, and this little robot will come to your house and just clean your whole house for you.
Well, right now they have a robot that cleans your floor for you, and now they've upgraded it. At first it's only vacuum, but now they've upgraded. Now it will mop. It will mop and vacuum.
Oh my goodness!
So it's getting there. And
it's getting there.
Sooner they're gonna come in and they're gonna be dusting your
tables and washing. Well, the dishwasher already does the dish.
Washing windows.
And how does all of this coincide and relate to our nonprofit, Amen Communications Inc., where God gave me this idea several years back to write books and to come up with fundraising ideas in order to get funds to give scholarship awards to students who are going to trade schools and going to colleges, and all they need is a piece of paper or a certificate or a CDL or a license in order to get that dream job that they want. And after substituting this past year in high schools, we were able to see that so many youngsters, they already know, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to run my own business. I want to be my own boss. So what we do with Amen Communications is provide some money for these youngsters to go to trade school, to go to these 1 or 2 year programs or these 9-month programs, to get those CDLs and get those licenses and certificates and certifications and be able to get in apprenticeship programs so they can land some really, really good jobs. Because apprenticeships, think about America in the beginning. Many of the trades and the crafts and many of the industries were built on apprenticeships, where you worked with someone who was highly skilled and they were experts in that field, and then they taught you.
It's a lot of union jobs require or have worked in apprenticeships, and especially things like welding and pipe fitters and structural things like that, like in New York, or all these, well, actually Greensboro too, but these skyscrapers, that's a skill in itself.
It is.
And you have to be an apprentice to be able to teach younger folks how to do what they do. So when they go off the scene, the skill will still be there. Though some things that you can't learn in a 4-year institution or in school, some things you have to learn on OJT, on the job training.
On the job training. And many new things that I learned how to do was on the job training, because at one time I was in a situation where there was a big team of people working and each person had a specific job duty. And so I really didn't have to do some of the things that I eventually had to do in the last job that I had because I was by myself, by my lonesome. And all these young people who were younger than my children were telling me, "Oh, Miss Mable, you can do it. Oh, Miss Mable, come on, let me show you." And I was scared. I know some of you all who are older, I know you might be a little scared to get on the computer and do some stuff, but I'm telling you, the young people are right. All you can do is just keep on working it and keep on playing with this stuff. And eventually you'll learn how to complete some tasks that you never thought you'd be able to do.
I had a plant manager who would go nameless.
No, don't name.
But anyway, back when computers first came into be, the company I worked with, they caught on to the fad that was coming, and so they got computers put on everybody's desk, and they put one on the plant manager's desk, and he just refused to use it. I'm not doing it. I'm not using it. And of course, back then he had a secretary, and so he farmed out everything to her. He wouldn't read his emails. She had to read them for him, print them out for him, or whatever, because he just refused to do it. But myself, I grabbed on to the technology. I mean, I embraced it to the point that at one point in time, I was the person in the whole plant who had the skills who could help other folks do what they need to do. And that was without any formal training on the computer. I just grabbed and said, "Hey, I'm going to learn this." And I did.
And that makes you indispensable. They needed you.
For a while, anyway.
Yeah, they needed him. They did. And one of our sons is working in manufacturing. He's told me about how, "Mommy, I go around, I talk." He's real sociable. And he talks to people and he asks them, "Yeah, man, what do you do?" And he would just kind of learn different types of things. And when that person is not there or when that person is sick, he's able to step in and do that. And that makes you a more valued employee when you can do somebody else's job. We ended up in some of the places where I work, cross-training, where you learn how to do other jobs so you can step in so everything can continue to run smoothly.
Right, cross-training is a big deal. And for those who say, "I ain't doing a job," I'm going to tell you, you got the wrong attitude.
For real.
You need an attitude adjustment.
Thank you. Did you hear, how many times has he said attitude today in this conversations with Abel Mable?
You need an attitude adjustment.
An attitude adjustment. So all of you young people who are getting ready to go to school and go to college, we'd like for you to check out our website at www.ablemable1.com. www.ablemable1.com, and you can find out more information about how you can apply and how you can get in touch with us in order to see if you can get some of these dollars. We may not have millions, we may not have thousands, but we can give you 500 here and 700 here or 800 here, and every little bit will count. All of you folks out there who need dollars for scholars, we want to help you to become future barbers and beauticians and plumbers and truck drivers and electricians and nail techs and painters and tattoo artists and photographers and videographers and brokers and healthcare people and entrepreneurs and estheticians and phlebotomists, whatever you want to do. Hey,
and for us to be able to do that, or for my wife to be able to do that,
we're together as a team.
How you can help in that regard is to purchase her book. She has 2 books out now.
Yeah, and you can purchase or you can send in your donation and go to www.ablemable1.com, www.ablemable1.com. We love you all out there. Know that your dreams can come true. We are working to get dollars for scholars. We love y'all at it. And all of you all, remember the word today I was about to say. What is it? Attitude?
An attitude adjustment.
Attitude adjustment. Your attitude will determine your altitude, and you want to keep your head to the sky. Love y'all out there. God bless you.
Until next week, possibly.
You're going to help us again.
That's an inside joke.
Yeah, but he'll be here. Ta-ta. Love y'all.
Bye.